So they are going to do their smart smart off-grid, off-grid that combines solar and wind without relying on the existing national grid of Egypt until we develop, because there is another issue regarding the wheeling tariff, which is also not solved up till today between the developers and the Egyptian electricity transmission company. So uh, people are looking for solutions that can go forward for their projects.
Very interesting. And for the off-grid projects to do, have they faced challenges with the regulation regarding electricity, or is it more open in Egypt?
One of the problems that have not been solved up till today is that the national electricity grid has all the resources in one grid. So we don't have a green corridor that has green electricity like in Germany. We cannot do this green corridor in several years. It takes more than 10 years and more than 20 billion to develop this green corridor that has only hydropower, solar, and wind dedicated for production of green hydrogen. So our national grid, electricity grid, has all the resources from thermal power plants that use fossil fuels, also hydropower from Aswan Dam and the barrages from Esna, Sohag, Asyut barrages, solar and wind from the Gulf of Suez. There is abundance of wind. So it's all in the grid. So you cannot get green electricity from the grid, unfortunately. So we need a
Okay.
lot of time, a
And
lot of investment.
are highly costed. And for I have a final question before picking the two questions that have been asked on LinkedIn. So, what do you think will be the next step for Egypt for advancing the hydrogen? Especially, there's a decision to go for a Mediterranean hub for hydrogen. What do you think are the priorities for Egypt?
In the green hydrogen strategy and the incentives that have been published 2 years ago, we have lobbied, all stakeholders in Egypt have lobbied for utilizing part of the produced green hydrogen in to domestically utilize this green hydrogen. No law have been presented up to date to request developers uh, to sell to the local hard to abate industries in Egypt. We have been trying to push for a law that for the new contracts or new agreements or new framework agreements with the new developers to have a 20% or 25% of the produced green hydrogen to be domestically utilized for the heavy industries that have energy intensive from natural gas. So this is what we are trying to push for as stakeholders, but still you cannot oblige investors unless you are the off-taker. So we proposed also to the government to be the off-taker for their own industries. So the public sector can offtake part of the green hydrogen to their own factories, to the public-owned or the government-owned factories, and decarbonize or defossilize their own factories. So this is one step forward. We have also proposed a carbon tax to the energy intensive plants, especially cement, fertilizers, aluminum, steel, and also we have added glass, float glass, ceramics, and porcelain because they are also energy intensive and also emissions with huge emissions. So this local offtake or domestic offtake can overcome also the chicken and egg dilemma of take or or financing a project without an offtake. So the government could be an offtaker. Let me point out to one important thing, Engineer Nihal, that the most important thing that when you domestically offtake part of the supply of green hydrogen, you save huge uh, expenses converting green hydrogen to green ammonia and then via pipelines to storage tanks of ammonia on the sea, on the port, I mean, seaport storage ammonia tanks, and then waiting for ammonia tankers to load from the storage ammonia tanks on the terminal, and then saving huge amounts of sea freight going the tanker from the port of load to the port of discharge, or by domestically off-taking green hydrogen via pipelines to the nearby factories. So this could save huge amounts transforming green hydrogen to green ammonia, transporting, storing, and sea freight to destination ports in Europe.
I think you have already answered on the first question from LinkedIn because he asked about the whether there are some project structure that are designed to supply the domestic usages uh, uh, of green hydrogen to decarbonize local production. So I think the this was your answer to have around 25% for the local usage. The second question is, what is your assessment of the US withdrawal from the Paris Agreement? Specifically, do you believe the move will decelerate the global transition towards green hydrogen produced from renewable sources?
Okay. The withdrawal of the US from the Paris Agreement was not only one withdrawal, there was another a main pillar for the disturbance when Trump has cancelled the Inflation Reduction Act, which was at the Biden era, subsidizing $3 for each kg produced of green hydrogen. So any US developer or any foreign developer that is producing green hydrogen in the States is entitled for $3 subsidy when producing 1 kg of green hydrogen. So if you are producing at $8 per kg of green hydrogen, you get from the government, the state, $3 per kg. So this has affected the investment in green hydrogen in the States. But on the contrary, it has served very well developing countries when several developers that were fleeing to the States from Europe, from Asia, and putting their focus on the MENA region and Africa. So instead of fleeing to the US, they are now fleeing to the MENA region. Let me add one important factor because of what's happening in the Strait of Hormuz. The barrel of oil has $120 per barrel. I think this could be one of the great drivers for green hydrogen in the region, because if you have this uncertainty of fossil fuels, you could be entitled for a better price for green hydrogen as a fuel. So I see that all what's happening in the US, all what's happening in the Middle East, what's happening with Emirates withdrawing from OPEC, the increased price of the oil could be a driving force for green hydrogen in the MENA region.
Very insightful and logic regarding the current situation and also the oil price spikes in the past few weeks. So, as a last thing, anything to add from your side before closing this very interesting episode?
Yes, thank you. Let me also highlight that North African countries have the opportunity to get away with green hydrogen to Europe markets better than in Oman, UAE, because of the Strait of Hormuz. Although Fujairah is a little bit away from the Strait of Hormuz, but still the instability happening in the Gulf could give more chances for the North Mediterranean, the Southern Mediterranean countries. I'm talking about Egypt, Algeria, Tunisia, Morocco, and Mauritania, to be the first movers for green hydrogen and iron ore, especially green iron ore in Mauritania. So, first runners, Saudi Arabia is not going to be affected dramatically because NEOM is on the Red Sea, far away from the Strait of Hormuz and the Gulf restrictions and the Strait of Hormuz.
All right. Thank you very much. It's insightful. If you can just keep discussing about the topic about I'm trying to reduce it as much as possible so we can go for a more accurate and insightful answer. Thank you very much, Mr.
Thank you.
Osama, and I hope to see you again,
Pleasure.
maybe in Cairo or
Pleasure.
another city in Egypt. Thank you very much, and see you next time.
Hopefully. See you. Bye. Bye, Nihal. Thank you.